What if attention is enough to change the form of energy, which is what energy does. It changes forms. It can't be created or destroyed as far as we know, except on massive scale. So if it can't be created or destroyed and it changes form, what if attention, another form of energy, which comes from our brain, can change the form of energy that is existing around us? And if this is true, what if attention to energy also means that attention on the energy of those who have passed can help that energy to change form in a similar way? And here's where I come up with that. And this is just a theory I postulate. So let's talk first about light. Light exhibits what is called relativistic mass energy. It is made of photons that never rest. They never stop. They're always moving. So there is no resting mass. However, they do have momentum. Photons have momentum, and they can exert a physical push on objects. So, for instance, solar sails are used in spaceships using light to propel. Also, since E equals mc squared, as far as we know now, probably that will change one day, but for now, that's how we understand energy equaling mass and the speed of light. And since energy and mass are interchangeable, light, which contains energy in the form of photons, can create a gravitational effect, and therefore it weighs something when it's moving, which means it has a version of mass. And the way we know this is because it will bend around objects that are heavier, and most objects are heavier than light. So now consider this idea of attention and thought. Both emit a form of energy, right? And when that energy is emitted, it changes form. It's the brain's functioning, which emits energy. And again, it can't be created or destroyed, but it can change form. And perhaps that elucidates the idea of reincarnation and mediumship. So since the body is a combination of mass, energy, and light, when we pass, the energy remains because it can't be created or destroyed, given the law of the conservation of energy. So what if attention to that energy, either in the form of memory, which emits energy, or in the form of speaking of someone who has passed, which emits energy, or in the form of grief, which emits energy, or in the form of mediumship and connecting to the energies that have passed? What if this attention, which emits energy, allows the energy of that person who has passed to shift form, to change form, and leads to a different state? For instance, physical manifestation, or even a new version of life for that energy. It gains mass in some way because of the attention that gave it energy to do so. So in a way, not only does remembering a loved one or speaking of a loved one or grieving a loved one allow the loved one to remain in our hearts and also on this plane in a certain way, perhaps mediumship too focuses driven attention with intention onto these energies and allows them to change form in the way that they need to. Just a thought. What do you think?